recent violent demonstration and cause a tight relationship between police and Hong Kong residents, and badly affected the services that police could provide to the residents. And recently, we're seeing resentment from the residents to police. Let me give you several examples. And the first example happened in the evening of Sunday. Police went to Taipo to treat a suicide case. The police tried to get up the stairs, but then the residents and they prevented us from going up the stairs, and by pushing the buttons of the elevator all the time. And some people also use laser guns to shoot at the police eyes. And they also helmed the police vehicles, a prevention of our duties. I would like to show you footage first. In this footage, you could see our police was responding to a 911 call, and they went to the venue. However, they were circled by residents, and they were shot by the laser guns. The second case happened in the early morning of yesterday, and several of the police officers went past Shangshui bus stop, and they were hit by a water bullet. One water bullet hit right at the window of the police vehicle. Another case was about the checking of the surveillance cameras by the police officers. However, they were charged and questioned by 20 residents. Although the police officers showed them relevant materials, they were still charged and questioned by these residents, so the police had to suspend their work there. Undoubtedly, Hong Kong is still the safest country in Asia. That's because we have 30,000 responsible police officers working tirelessly 24 hours by 7. In the recent 2 months, huge amount of demonstrations happened, and police have not stopped our work. If residents affect our work, and this will prevent us from providing services to those who are in need. And we have taken notice that some shopping malls put up notice saying police is not welcomed. Earlier on, we said the police will not patrol in these shopping areas. However, we will respond to any 911 calls, so we have the right to enter any relevant venues. If police has reasons to believe a suspect go into any private or public venues, police is allowed to enter these venues as well. In the past weekend, the violent acts happened in major roads, Cross Harbour Tunnel, as well as the railways. In the 13 districts, many compact residential areas were affected. We know residents have some desires, but these desires must be expressed in a peaceful way. And police shall respond to violent acts. If the residents do not want to be affected, the best way is to stay in safe places and don't participate in violent acts, and do not bystand at any venues of the processions or demonstration. Besides the notices sent out by us, we will use social media platforms as well to send out information so that residents will have a better idea of the venues of the demonstrations and be aware of the dangerous places. And then I shall give this mic over to Mr. Jiang. Yesterday, the police arrested one 50-year-old male with the charge of Kowloon Singh's misconduct. And this suspect is under investigation. And this case is now with Kowloon Singh Police Station. Today, 19 people stand court. One happened in Saturday night in Tsim Sha Tsui. A female is actually the suspect who used laser gun to attack police. One case happened in Sunday night. Violent protesters attacked Tsim Sha Tsui police station. While the police did the dispersal, they also made several arrests. 19 were arrested, and one is charged with rioting. Stand court today. One arrest was made in Sha Tin with the charge of assaulting police, and this suspect is also standing court today, and there is no police officer injured today. 15 police officers, during their executing duties, their eyes were attacked by laser guns and felt uncomfortable. 14 male officers and one female officer, they were treated medically and they're back to their post. And however, they're still under the observation period and still need to go back to hospitals for further checks. And in the afternoon, we've already published the bullet and grenades usage for June and July. The August numbers were briefed by me in these media briefings. We shall make further clarifications and validations. Yesterday, we did not use any bullets and grenades. Last Friday, we did not use any bullets and grenades. In Saturday, we fired 58 tear gas canisters. Saturday, the situation was chaotic, and we deployed multiple units, and so we are still verifying numbers of the bullets used. I would like to explain the recent sayings on internet. Recently, somebody says the money the paper money, the money papers were printed with some slogans. So these checks were vandalized. Residents have the duty and responsibility to go to the bank and report to the bank and to, exchange the unvalidated bills. However, the final decision will be made by banks. So these bills were vandalized to different degrees. It will be a case-by-case verification and decision-making by the banks. Possibly, your bills, if vandalized, won't be accepted by the bank, and meaning the bank won't exchange vandalized bills to you. Mr. Xie, over to you. A summary. Most importantly, it is definitely crimes happen first, and then police will make our acts or arrests. And it is tragic that somebody else got hurt during the arrest or during the police actions. Police are using different measures to treat the situations. The violence acts conducted by rioters, such as helming the police stations, hurling petrol bombs. I would like to reaffirm that there is not one civilized society which can accept violent vandalization to police stations. So, law-abiding residents, I call upon you to understand that any violent acts masked by peaceful demonstration won't be accepted by us. It will cause tragic results, and the police will definitely respond to these violent acts. And last, I would like to appeal to everyone in Hong Kong to separate yourselves from the violent rioters.
As some residents challenged their authority. At one point, as many as 60 people surrounded and insulted our officers. Secondly, in a small hour yesterday, after our officers handled a case of theft and riding a police vehicle on their way back to the station, around 20 protesters threw water bombs at the vehicle from a bridge. Thirdly, on another occasion, our officers were investigating into a case of person collapse in a residential building in the Western District. As they were viewing CCTV, as many as 20 people questioned them and demand their warrant cards. As a result of their harassment, our officers had to suspend their investigative work. We are also aware that recently, some residential estates and shopping malls have posted notice about not welcoming police officers into their premises. However, I must point out that our police officers will not conduct foot patrol in such premises on their own initiatives. But if there are incidents called or emergencies, we are lawfully entitled to enter. Also, if a police officer suspects that a person has committed an offense and entered into a public or private place, he is lawfully entitled to enter. The Hong Kong police have been performing their best to keep Hong Kong one of the safest and most stable societies in the world. The unreasonable obstruction by some protesters will only affect the essential work we provided to citizens. Over the past weekends, violent clashes broke out into 13 districts, including many major roads, harbour crossings, and railway. To prevent violence from escalating, we had no choice but to use appropriate force to disperse violent protesters. We are also aware of the impact the use of force has on ordinary citizens. Therefore, we have been proactive in disseminating information to the media and members of the public through social media and public announcements. Apart from the above two channels, in the future, we will explore new channels to disseminate information to the public. Yesterday, the police arrested one 52-year-old male for disorderly conduct in public place committed on 5th of August. Two officers were still as for the figures on the officers injured on duty, so far 171 officers were injured on duty. The ranks rank from police constable to chief superintendents. Among these police officers, 2 officers were still hospitalized. 15 officers sustained eye injury after being hit by laser beams. In conclusion, I would like to highlight one point. It's only because someone has broken the law that the police have to enforce the law. Many innocent citizens and even visitors of Hong Kong have been unfairly affected by protesters' reckless actions. I hope the public will understand that the police use force only as a means to containing the violent situations, and we always use force with restraint. We never wish to see any injury or casualties. If you still believe in peaceful, rational, and non-violent expression of speech, I appeal to you to cut ties with all rioters. We appeal to you to not let violence become a new norm. Please join us in restoring the order of society. 唔該。
好，嚟緊係將會有問答嘅環節嘅。